be on the hotline like every day, making sure the DJ know what I want.
Hi, welcome to History with Princey, the first ever show made for teens about history. My name is Princey, and I'll be your host for today. On this episode, we will be talking about the coolest empire ever known to date, the Macedonian Empire, which was led by Alexander III, which became known as Great Ruler of Egypt, who is also known as Alexander the Great. He was taught by Aristotle, and along with his army all over the world, he conquered Europe, Persia, and Egypt. Some of his major battles were the Granicus River battle, capturing Asia Minor, the Battle of Issus against the Persians, and the Battle of Tyre against the Tyrians. Of course, battles and wars feel great for those who win, but it never feels good for the losing side. So today, we will be talking with a Tyrian girl named Copra. Can you give her a hand, please? Come on out, Copra. Come on out. Come on out. Come on.
I'm sure you're busy.
Yes, I am.
Now, what is it that you do in the Macedonian Empire?
Well, I am the slave for the Antigres family. I cook for the master and raise the children. Life just is not the same for me.
What do you mean life isn't the same? Wait, I'm sorry. I was just told we have to commercial. We'll be right back with more history. Our first commercial is brought to you by a Macedonian favorite, kebabs. It's kebabalicious, y'all. Now it's time for That's History for Ya. The Battle of Granicus River was the first fight for the Macedonians. It was in 334 BC. This was the first time the phalanx was seen by anyone. The phalanx was a fighting order used by the Macedonians. It is a group of heavily armed infantry formed in ranks and files close and deep, with shields joined and long spears overlapping. I'm sure that this fighting method scared the jeepers out of everyone. Now, back on with the show.
We're back with Cobra, and before the break she said that life is not the same for her. So what did you mean by that, Cobra? Well, I'm not originally from Macedonia. I was a wealthy wife of a landowner from Phoenicia. I was in the city of Tyre to go to the marketplace. Then the Macedonians barged into the island. Someone told me that they surrounded the island, but the Tyre army was not able to hold them back. Alexander the Great made a plan, and he got a ramp, and he got his men off the boat. And
This is interesting. Then what happened?
well, there was so much commotion. Everyone was running for safety when they saw them. People went into the Temple of Melkart. That was a wise choice. I decided I was going to run to home, but the Macedonian army captured me.
I'm so sorry you had to experience that. I'm sorry. Oh gosh, we have to take another commercial break. Stay tuned. Commercial is brought to you by the Olympics. Still strong today. And now it's time for more That's History for Ya. It was 333 BC, and the Battle of Issus was the second greatest battle in Asia Minor. The opposing team was led by Darius III, the king of Persia. This was the last battle fought against the Persians before they were conquered by the Macedonians. Now let's get back to the show. Continue with your story, Copra.
I was brought to the beach after all the fighting was all over. They had so many people killed. The remaining army fighters were killed on the beach, on their own territory. It was a bloody massacre. I thought I was going to die. I cried and wept. The others standing on the beach, about 30,000 of us, were brought to Macedonia and sold as slaves. We lost it all, but we still had our lives.
Wow, it's good to know that you've taken the good out of the bad. But what happened to the people at the Temple of Melkart?
I heard from my master that those who took coverage in the temple were left unharmed, under the command of Alexander.
Well, that's great. At least not everyone got a bad ending.
Yes, you are right. But it still kills me to know that I had a chance to be back home again where I knew life.
Well, how do you like living in Macedonia?
Of course, since I am a slave, life isn't peaches and creams for me, but I can cook. I'm treated way better than my other slave counterparts. I'm happy I was given masters who trust me enough to get the job done without any troubles. I'm treated with much respect, but I still miss my old life and my family.
Before I ask another question, it's time for question of the day! Woo! What was the last place the Macedonians visited? A. Egypt, B. America, or C. Spain? Think. The answer is A. Egypt.
Now we're back on with history with Princey, and we're talking Cobra. So, are you allowed to venture off into the city homes? I am, but most of the time when I leave home, I'm usually with my master's wife. Will Mr. and Mrs. Antigres get angry at you for participating in your own religion? They will bring me to their temple, but I was not raised to praise gods of Greek gods otherwise. I go to a hiding place and say my prayers. Thank you for coming here on this show. I know it's very hard for you to get out of your work, but I want to thank you for the opportunity. Okay, everyone, don't change that channel. Before the show ends, we're going to talk about the history and a wrap. Stay tuned.
Okay, today we have learned that even the best empires have positive and negative effects on people. By spreading Macedonia the way Alexander did, he spread culture, religious views, and made a diverse empire for himself. He created one of the best armies in history ever known. He did all of this with the help of his heteroi and his army. Of course, they did have to fight for what they wanted. As you can see, this took a toll on everyone's lives. Some outcomes were good, and some were not so beneficial. I hope you have learned a lot from today's episode. I hope I see you again. Thank you and good night.